in which they will have probably already succeeded in my apologies, in creating the bioweapon, and then possibly Archer and T'Pol may end up getting very close to stopping them, but unfortunately they are not, and they must escape the Earth from the past, into which Earth is devastated, completely devastated. Now, this pretty much all sums up into the category that, well, if that happens, wouldn't Archer and T'Pol die? Not right away, not necessarily, but it would cause a complete disruption within the time span. Now, believing this all to have been just a complete success for the Xindi, this of course would have led Earth from that point of past to continue on. And of course, I'm fairly certain that even with the Starfleet, or actually Starfleet wouldn't even existed, but with the devastation that World War III would have taken place in between the years of 2040 and 2063, it would have completely devastated the population, into which Starfleet would have never existed in a good amount of sense. And of course, obviously, the Federation would have never existed, because Archer wouldn't be there. Pretty much the expanding population and probably the very critical characters who actually started the charter for the Federation wouldn't have existed either. And to which Earth would have just kept on having its population decline, and of which maybe some type of xenophobic, maybe riots of some sort of xenophobic awareness would have completely got out of hand, and if any potential species try to make contact, they would just be completely, wiped out, and Earth would just be completely, I would say, annexed by any of the major key Alpha Quadrant species, to even pretty much making contact with them completely avoidable. No one would want to actually interact with the humans. The humans would continue on, they would continue on to nothing, into which the population would cease to exist, into which extinction would come in, and obviously buildings and infrastructure and all that sort would continue to decay, but pretty much it would continue to decay to the point where it would be pretty much seen as the conclusion of the first episode of Shockwave, the part 2, from seasons 1, episode 25. That Earth it's nothing, it's barren, it's a wasteland. Buildings are completely deteriorated, and it doesn't even look like anything's habitable or livable. So that pretty much draws into my conclusion and my theory of the paradox of what exactly happened to Earth. It just completely was... It was an initial spark of what might have happened to Earth is pretty much prompted me to think about this. To pretty much take on to the understanding of why would Earth just decay? No population, not even a source of lingering on parts of human civilization, but nothing. As you can see by the end of episode 25 from the first season, no livable inhabitants, nothing. But as I said, that would pretty much be in the ultimate conclusion to my theory on what happened to Earth as a result of the Zindi, and of course Archer being told that the Zindi would have attacked, and it just all is destroyed. Earth is gone. Not in, of course, not in the form of way the Zindi were going to make sure that humanity was gone, but in the sense they accomplished their mission, into which the Alpha Quadrant would be in a deep matter of chaos within about 350, 400 years or so. But gladly enough, that's not how it happened within the series. But again, people, that's my conclusion. That's what I have thought of. If you guys have any questions, if you guys don't think it really adds up, please tell me and notify me in the comments. I'll be glad to address any type of maybe issues you guys have with my theory. I'd be glad to, try to understand your basis of how my theory doesn't make sense, but in all cases, that's my theory. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and again, as is always, live long and prosper.